The new capital murder trial of a Texas 7 gang member, Randy Halprin, could still be more than a year away.
Halprin, who is Jewish, was convicted in 2005 for the murder of Irving police officer Aubrey Hawkins Christmas Eve 2000. The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals overturned his death penalty conviction in 2019 because of anti-Semitic comments made by the original trial judge. Now the case goes back before the appeals court. Fox 4's Sean Rabb joins us to explain why. Sean.
Yeah, as you say, Randy Halprin's conviction that condemned him to death for the killing of Irving officer Aubrey Hawkins was stopped in 2019 by the appeals court because of anti-Semitic comments made by the original trial judge after that trial was over. But Halprin is Jewish. And now, a year later, last year, 2024, that appeals court ordered a new trial for Halprin. Now the district attorney has turned to the appeals court again, but for a different reason. Take a look. Dallas County District Attorney John Creuzot in March filed a motion to have Heath Harris removed as defense co-counsel for Randy Halprin. He was concerned that Harris had possible post-conviction involvement in Halprin's case while he was first assistant for the late district attorney Craig Watkins. District Judge Leila Lawrence Mays ruled Heath Harris should stay on the case. So the district attorney has filed motions now with the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals asking first that they stop all legal proceedings and second to consider whether the decision by the judge was in error. We asked defense attorney Anthony Farmer if it was unusual for the DA to appeal the judge's ruling.
It's not unusual at all for a party to appeal a case. A lot of times as lawyers we feel the judge gets it wrong on the law and the judge errs, and we take it to the higher court to see if they agree, and we hope they do. And so it's not uncommon for any party, DA aside, to feel that a judge has gotten the law wrong.
Will it take a long time to come to trial? It's already been many years, but will it take much longer? Certainly.
The fact that it's a death penalty case alone means it's going to take a long time for both sides to prepare. The fact that it's an older case with older witnesses, older testimony, older transcripts, etc., it's going to take likely months, if not longer, for this case to be ready for trial.
And of course, should the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals agree with District Attorney John Creuzot and remove Heath Harris from the case, that's another reset, because then the court would have to appoint a new defense attorney to work with Philip Hayes, and that person would have to be brought up to speed. Not only that, but it is a death penalty case with at least 100+ boxes of evidence, a lot of documents that have already been uploaded electronically, but still both sides would need ample time to thoroughly prepare for a death penalty case in the judicial system. But after the Court of Criminal Appeals issues its ruling, it's going to be a year, maybe a year and a half before they actually have a new trial.
Hi, Sean. Help us out with more information, I guess. The guy, Halprin, was really days away from being executed when he got that stay. Ultimately, the case was overturned. But as far as I remember, and you can help me out, it wasn't about bad evidence or they got something wrong or they had it wasn't about the case, the evidence, or anything about it. It was all about the judge. And it was about comments he made even, I think it was after the trial, right? It wasn't during the trial even.
Correct. The comments were made after the trial, but here's what's significant. If the judge had these kinds of feelings towards someone who is Jewish, towards the Jewish community, anti-Semitic feelings, that he expressed those even after the trial, is it possible that Halprin did not get a fair trial under this judge's watch? That was the argument that he made to have his conviction overturned. Ultimately, the appeals court agreed. Remember, it's a death penalty case.
Got it.
And so you want everything to be right and proper. But yeah, it also shows us, Steve, how, you know what, once a case goes off the rails, like this one, how hard it is to get it back moving again and how much it's costing the system.
On the appeal, were they ever able to point out to this decision was probably because this judge is a racist or anything like that? Did they ever point to an interaction in court or anything like that that they could put? I guess they didn't need to, but did they?
No, they didn't need to, and they did not during the appeal. They all, in the appeal, all of the quotes from this conversation that the judge had with the reporter was part of that appeal. Because does it mean that if the judge harbored these kinds of feelings, some of his actions in court were against the defense because of how he felt? That was the question that could not be answered clearly. So the best way to solve that is a new trial. It's just taken us a long time to get there. And quickly, because he no longer has a sentence, his sentence has been overturned, he can't go back to the Texas Department of Corrections, which means he sits in the Dallas County Jail for years until trial.
All right. It'll happen, and we'll cover it. Sean, thanks.